Have you ever sat down to be productive, only to find yourself sidetracked by, well, everything? Yeah, me too. Until I found this simple system that changed everything for me. My name is Henri, and I help curious minds figure out what's next. If you relate to that and you need to get things out the door, you need to transform yourself, you need to shift into something better, but you're struggling because you cannot find a way to accomplish that, this video is for you. It's very easy to get into negative self-talk. We may call ourselves lazy. We may think we don't have what it takes to change that job, start that business, or get things done. The system is broken. Maybe your system is broken. And we have something that will help you find your track again to promote your own change and transformations. I remember I was stuck in that place for years. I really wanted to do lots with my life and I just couldn't get it. I would burn myself out quite frequently whenever I had to do anything of importance. I remember when I was studying for my master's, I had to learn about neurological things that were not part of my normal cup of tea. I studied for 3 days without sleeping. That's a bad recipe. If you do things like that, you're going to burn yourself out. The important piece is that after lots of trying and experience, I realized that I was not broken. I was not lazy. It was something else. I'll share with you what worked for me and maybe can unlock your true potential as well. There is a lot of content about productive systems and different ways to accomplish things. It can be quite overwhelming, especially with those coach types speaking loudly, selling that X, Y, and Z system is the best approach. I decided to record this video because I think sometimes simple is better. I want to share my journey of looking for different productive systems until I found one that with life experience and as things were transforming, I found a way to jig it so it's applied to my own unique situation. And hopefully this process can be replicated for you.
We keep hearing about these big words and fencing things like, oh yeah, productive system.
But what does that mean anyways? What does it mean to have your personal productive system? Just as your personal knowledge management system helps you to capture, collect things that are important for you so you can remember, use, and apply to your life, a personal productive system, or I call it PPS for short, can help you get things done. The more you get things done, the more power you have to transform, to find a life that you're deeply looking for. This has been the long-standing adagio of multiple coaches out there. There is a Brazilian one called Paulo Vieira that says a lot of that. Tony Robbins and others have the same idea that action's power, right? That you need to drive action so you can have transformation. And your PPS will help you doing that in a way that is not only relying on you beating yourself. You have a little system that the more you do it, the more it helps you to get things accomplished. And let me reinforce that. A PPS is not an app. A PPS is not a hack. A PPS is just a system that you repeat and help you to get things out the door. And the more you do it, the more things you get to accomplish. If you already have something like that in place, that's great. Maybe, it's worthwhile checking my other video about personal knowledge management system, because those two go hand in hand. You need to have a personal knowledge management system and you need to have your PPS so they can work in sync. But if you don't, I think you're gonna be in for a surprise. One very truthful side of becoming more mature and getting things done is that there is a point that motivation alone, it's not enough to drive you to the finish line. Because the motivation comes and goes. There are people that are self-driven and can self-motivate, but really, motivation is almost your energy level. There are days that you have more energy and the days you have less energy. If you only rely on motivation, you will be consistent approach in accomplishing things. On the other hand, if you have a system that repeats itself, independent of how you're feeling, it will help you move closer to what you need to do each day. Then you're not going to be overwhelmed and going to have something structured that is structured and helps you navigate your life. It's a hidden ally that helps you. All right, so what's out there in terms of personal productive systems? There are a few, and I'll try to put in the description some links for you to check it out. But let me quickly, before I show you my own tweak, go over of the biggest and most famous that are out there and can help you. Okay, let's start with the first one that I think is one of the simplest to implement. It's called time blocking. What time blocking entails? It's simple. You list everything you need to do, everything that you're aiming to accomplish. Then you get a calendar, and you're going to block a portion of your time for each task. So say you need to go to the dentist, write that report for work, change your tires, call your mom. You need to put in a time block, otherwise they may get lost. The ebbs and flows of everything that's happening can take your attention and move sideways, and you may lose track. Carl Newport was one of the famous internet folks that popularized that particular system. There are now AI tools that can read your tasks and create time blocks for you. This can work well if you are structured, disciplined, and possibly have had some military education. It doesn't work for everyone. If you don't have that structured drive, a fully blocked calendar might feel suffocating. But for some, it helps them to thrive and get their things accomplished. Another one that worked for me before I show you my current system is the Pareto principle applied to productivity. The Pareto principle says that 80% of your results stem from 20% of your actions. What do you do when your productivity system is based on Pareto? You list all your tasks, then select the 20% of tasks that are the most important, for example, between changing winter tires, getting a project done, and calling your mom. Depending on what's happening, calling your mom might be the right choice. Maybe your mom is ill and you are already in the midpoint of your life. You won't have a lot of time to talk to her. So calling your mom is a priority. Now, the project may wait a little bit, right? On the other side, maybe you really need to get that project done so you can accomplish a block of your professional development or professional life. So you do that, you select the 20% that will make the difference, and then you do it. So once you accomplish that one task, you're going to look to the list, add more to it. If you have more things going on in your life, re-scan it for the 20% that will make the greatest impact, and you do it. So you get in that groove, you get in that rhythm. The pro is that it's fairly straightforward, and if you are consistently doing the most important, you're going to eventually get where you want to go. The downside is that it does not have a lot of structure, because you have to have a lot of energy to always look back to the list and put more items on the list. So the first one has a lot of structure, this one has less structure. And that takes us to the third straightforward I want to share with you. Pomodoro technique is a very popular system. Normally you need to have one of those cool timers, even some cute tomato timers. You work for 25 minutes and then pause for 5 minutes. Pomodoro technique focuses more on the rhythm, getting in a certain cycle of productivity. This is very useful, especially for folks that are completely unstructured, but need some sort of a regulatory cycle. The advantage of Pomodoro is that it's a piece of productivity methodology you can incorporate into other methods too. For example, if you merge the Pareto principle technique with Pomodoro technique, you have a very powerful way to keep your cycles going, bringing you closer to your ambition. You can find lots of Pomodoro apps, much anywhere online, including the Apple Store and Play, or you can just use a normal watch. And then there is the one that saved my life, that helped me to move the needle. Getting things done. It's the name of the technique. It's literally GTD, get things done. It's created by Dave Allen in 2001. It's very popular everywhere. I'll share the link so you folks can see the website. It's a very good starting point for anyone needing a structured system. And what I got from getting things done was mainly the mental clarity. I am an individual with a lot of mental energy and emotions. I'm very passionate. Every morning, I feel that urge of doing things. And that helped me tame a little bit the lion and be able to put some order. That is not like a straitjacket. I can still have my moments of doing things slightly off what I had planned originally. But overall, because of the written plan and how it goes, it helps me to stay grounded. I will explain to you the steps of how GTD normally goes, but there is a kick. I'm not only sharing the GTD, I will share what's the normal GTD technique, and then I'll share you my own spin, how I learned with GTD, and then I switch it so it's applied more consistently to my own life. The core of GTD is quite simple. Your brain is made for creating ideas, and it often goes to the next thing. GTD helps you to keep your mind clear because you have a system for your thoughts and actions. You can organize in a manner that you can repeat consistently. 5 steps. Capture. You write down everything that has your attention. That's step 1. Then you have number 2, clarify. You decide what each item means, whether it's actionable or you need to find another solution. Then 3rd, you have the organized step. You sort it into categories, projects, next actions, someday maybe. So you have these buckets to sort everything into the right place. Then you have the 4th step, reflect. You review regularly your list to stay clear. So that happens right after you put together your list, and it happens ideally every day in the morning. When you add new items to your list, you keep reshuffling it, reorganizing it. And of course, number 5 is engage. You do the work based on context and the energy that you have. Maybe you have an important thing to do on your to-do list. Let's say it is going to your boss and discussing something serious that has happened. This is something that you need to have a lot of energy. You need to be prepared, and you're not feeling particularly good in that moment. Or say you are an entrepreneur and you know that you have a team member who is not doing well. It's harming your team, and you need to fire the person. Particular part of the GTD methodology. The important thing to remember is that it's not a to-do list. It's a framework. You have the list of things you're doing, and all these movements of capturing new things, drawing the list, reorganizing, and reassessing constantly so you can create this rhythm. I think it works beautifully. It really helped me. It saved my productivity and helped me steer my life to a much better spot a couple years. A cool thing about the origin is that when Dave Allen created it, he was already a very experienced consultant in the corporate world. And he realized that people needed a map to navigate complexity. Things were getting more and more complex, and people were feeling overwhelmed because it was impactful to literally millions of people. It also derived a lot of spin-offs. So you have lots of folks that created their own versions of productivity frameworks based on GTD. One of those guys is Thiago Forte, Second Brain, based on GTD. And you have lots of apps that incorporate GTD in their templates. To-do list is one of them. Evernote's another one of them. You have many apps that already have the get things done incorporated in their structure. I have a lighter version of GTD that helps me find my own way. Instead of doing all the 5 steps and the ritual, which is great, I like that's too structured for me. I have kind of a triangle that I focus on capturing everything that's happening in my brain and throwing in a list, then focus on selecting the most important task of the day, things that are the critical path. I do exactly that, and reassess the list the next day, eliminating everything that is not important anymore and just focusing on the new, most important tasks of that day. And then I repeat capturing new ideas, doing the most important tasks of the day and reassessing the list. So I think it's a GTD approach. If GTD and Pareto had a child, it works for me because it's not as structured. I don't have patience for all the intricacies of GTD when they become too complex. At the same time, I like the ability to focus exactly on the critical things. The 20% will move the needle. And when I do that focus, I feel so much more productive. It's really helpful. And as you see the list of things getting done, it's very exciting because you start to create a track log of things you accomplish in a given day. How that works. Now, every single day, I start by copying the list from the previous day. I cross out things that I was able to accomplish. And then I have that very fulfilling notion that I am moving forward. And that's okay, because I can see that every single day, as I log the things I'm doing and I'm triangulating that productivity approach, I am moving forward. And this is very helpful. It helps me to keep calm. Sometimes I get a little angry, and this is a way for me to keep things under control and to have some sort of balance in how I accomplish things. Perfection. I have the tendency to be perfectionist. Maybe you also relate to that, but the goal is not perfection. The goal is to have a little system that keeps the movement going, keeps your momentum. That's the important part. So if you have been calling yourself lazy, unproductive, maybe you're just unsystematized. That was me. And now I share with you one approach to PPES that really helped me to move the needle. So I hope that this can help you as well. If you found value in this video, hit that subscribe, join me so we can promote shifts in how we approach things and how we see the world. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.